Yeah, and thank you so much. I think we can start now for maybe it's 3:41.
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone, and good afternoon, good morning, depending on what parts of the world that you are in, where you're viewing and where you're joining us from. We can't take for granted the fact that what we do is actually global, and we've got people in this meeting from all over the world, so in different time zones, so you're all welcome. And I have to say that it's really it's beautiful that we can do this, you know. So it really shows that what the experts say, that if you don't make money while you're sleeping, that you work all your life. And one of the reasons why we brought this is so that we can actually get to the point where we can live out that lifestyle of creating an income while we sleep. And some people will wonder, how is such a thing possible? I'll give you a simple example. When I think about Adenuga and I think about services like Glow and all of that, I've had a Glow SIM for years. And the one thing I can tell you that this man has never sold me a recharge card. Back then when we actually had the card, because I can't remember the last time I scratched the card. Now we're using every kind of medium, which we're using our phones and all sorts, you know, even our banks are now every single person. So picture the fact that if for every recharge this man is earning even was 0.01%, that means that whether he's sleeping, whether he's playing golf, whether he's out with friends and all that, he's still creating an income. And when you think about it in life, that you ask yourself, is God fair? You know, how can somebody create that amount of income? Then what happens to me? You know, because basically what we know to do and what we think we can actually do is to go get a job, then work as professionals in an office. I'm an engineer. My background is computer engineering. So growing up, it was like, my sister is a lawyer. You know, I've got two sisters that are lawyers. My brother studied banking and finance, you know, so it was like profession because the security was a job. And of course, we know COVID-19 has taken place. People have lost their jobs. Those that didn't lose their jobs probably had a lower pay and all of those things. I mean, it's basically the struggle. So you find out that what we know to do as professionals, we think again and we say, okay, is there anything else that we can do? Especially in Nigeria, where unlike the people abroad, people can get 2 jobs, 3 jobs. In Nigeria, where your employer actually believes that you belong to him. So you can even get sacked if he sees you working somewhere else. You know, go somewhere like, what is my staff doing? Even if it was a close of work, you probably get back the next day and find out that you've actually been sacked or something. But we have realized that, you know, there's actually an opportunity for us to create an extra income. And I have to tell every single person listening that you have to agree with me that there's always the need for more money to be practiced, you know, to put it down there, more money. There's the need to create an extra income. And one of the major reasons is that there's inflation. So the value at which you bought something today will not necessarily be the same value tomorrow. And because it's an increase in cost doesn't necessarily mean that there's an increase in your income from your place of work. So it means that you have to create that extra income to make up the cost of things out there, you know, and then the possibility that your boss may let you go makes you realize that the best boss that you can ever have is yourself, because you would always be fair and always be good to yourself. So it is really, really important that we should create an extra income. And that is why we've actually called this meeting, because we found a way to do that. And we are not doing it alone. There are people in over 150 countries that have found that this is actually big enough for people to create that. So you must see the need. You know, there's somebody, my friend Susan said something, she said that you can't find what you're not looking for. So in introducing you to this, if you weren't looking for this, with what you've heard me say now, you should be looking and becoming more attentive to, like, oh, it's true. I've got to find another way of creating an income. I need to find a way to make extra income, you know. It should become a burning desire on the inside of you. And don't get confused and think that it's covetousness, it is greed, it is that you're not satisfied. I'll say that that's not true. If you look around the entire world, if you had more money, you'll do better. So the question is, do you have enough to be good to your neighbor? Do you have enough to pay another child's school fees? Do you have enough that when the calls come in and someone asks you for just 10,000 naira, you're able to say, okay, don't worry, just send your account details. So if you don't have that, then you know that truly it's not a question of greed, you know, it's not a question of greed, it's not a question of covetousness, but it's you understand that truly money answereth all things. So I'm just going to call on a professional, you know, she will tell you everything about herself, but so that you can respect the fact that this is valid and this should be looked into. So I'm going to call on Sade, and she's going to tell us. I hope you're ready. So I'm going to hand the meeting over to Sade. We don't want to spend too much time, not too much formalities. Sade is going to come on right now and then take the stage. So welcome, everyone. Listen, you know, be ready to ask your questions, write them down, or go to the chat and write your questions. We're right here with the intention of helping you to build and live a better lifestyle. God bless you. Welcome, Sade.
I really pray that. Thank you. Now we're going now. Okay.
You need to unmute yourself, Sade.
Hello, Shadi, are you hearing us? You need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, I think you have double sets on, so we can see you. So that's why the interference is coming. So you have two things on. So maybe you can just mute one and allow one to run.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the other device is frozen for some reason, but I will show my face as we move on. That's technology limitation. It's such a pleasure to be here in the midst of professionals, and I'm sure quite a number of my ladies that women in business and public service management are in the room with us. And it's such a pleasure to be here once again. By introduction, my name is Folashade Femi Lawal. I am a qualified accountant and a fellow of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and also a fellow of Chartered Institute of Taxation and triple fellow of Enterprise Risk Managers. And I'm also Harvard trained. I'm giving that background so that we can understand the reason behind what we are trying to do here today. Today, I manage the largest card base in the banking industry. And I'm a senior executive at one of the top banks in Nigeria. But at some point in my career, and I'm also a mother of 4 young adults, married to a wonderful man. While balancing my career with my finance and personal life, at some point, I discovered my income is standing on one leg. So every person here tonight, picture your source of income as a table with one leg. So your salary is that one leg. So imagine what happens if something happens to that one leg. The table is going to wobble. And that is exactly what I was going through in my professional life, starting as a young professional. About 5 years ago, I realized the struggle is a lot. Yes, you can be a banker and still be in debt. In fact, there is a slang that says bankers don't take, that the money in Lagos stays in Lagos. Just give me a second. The moment I get in here, I will move immediately.
I'm fully back here now because I really need you to see my background and the future of where we are all heading, which is I look forward to telling my story in the White House on how this business, this opportunity we are sharing has changed my life. And I realized for every time something happens that is outside my regular salary, my husband and I, we are thrown off guard every time. So you have to go, the financial services industry makes it so easy for you to be perpetually in debt. There is car loan, there is housing loan. Those ones are not bad in themselves, except the fact that you are perpetually borrowing. And yes, you are living the life to outsiders. But in reality, you are actually, we call it heavily geared. Heavily geared is what we call it in the financial industry. So, and then they say that the money you make in Lagos stays in Lagos. And I came to a realization that it is not sustainable to live from hand to mouth unless you want to steal. And that's not my upbringing. Neither is it my belief as a Christian. As a matter of fact, part of my credentials reads an apostle in the marketplace. So I can definitely not steal. But I must also represent God by what I do in excellence. And so, Sister Susan, Coach Susan Itemoagbo, that was welcoming all of us into the meeting, is a pastor in my church. And I took my first son to a pre-college in Canada. She invited me over to her apartment for the night before I catch the next flight to Lagos. And we got talking. I observed the ambience of our apartments, of our service apartments in Canada. So it's okay to live in the abroad. It's also okay to live in a sublet, but it is very, very okay to live in your own service apartment, living like a king. I am exposed, I travel a lot. But to get into Mrs. Susan's residence, and I thought I was in a living room, I put my bags down, I said, sis is good, or this is that. She was like, Shade, no. This is the reception of our apartment building. I said, sure. And in the course of the night, I thought about it. And I had a honest conversation with my husband that, come on, this thing about this business that we have been shying away from, it is time to face it. Because we scrapped all our savings to send my first son to pre-college. When he moves to higher classes, what is going to happen? Am I going to go on education loan from the bank that I will spend the rest of my life paying it back? What about the other three? We had that conversation. We looked at our life and we decided to give it a trial. And I've never regretted taking that decision today. Within 6 months of just following the guideline provided, I'm an accountant. If for every debit, there should be a credit. So it's straightforward. And so it was easy for me to get a lot of my professional friends to join. Susan can confirm that I had a group of 30 within 6 months. Why? Because my friends were like, Shade, if you are doing it, it must work because we know you. You would have checked. You would have asked all the necessary questions like an auditor, like a trained auditor. That I trained the price of house first. So they know the things I was going to add, I would have asked. And I didn't make any mistake about it. I asked the questions. I was convinced. I saw her life, the testimonial, and others around her. How easy it was for her to pay school fees for her children. How she's always traveling, living large. Yes, sometimes we are lucky in organizations to be sent on training. But you know, sometimes it comes by queuing. In this business, that is not it. And I've been opportune to travel on that same company's bill. It is a good way to travel. I made up my mind and I went into it. I started using the product and sharing the testimonial with friends and family. And it is something that works. So it's not a story. And the first 6 months, my income, without slowing down on my high demanding job in the bank, I'm a high flyer, I was still able to net a 6-figure income. Let me even tell you my testimony. I took the entire money to church because I couldn't believe it. Now, what I thought is a joke. And since then, I have been unstoppable. Today, I'm adding value to not just my husband and children. I'm adding value to my community. I'm adding value to my parents. I'm one of their favorite daughters. I had my 50th birthday recently, and it was obvious that my dad is proud of me. My mom couldn't make it, but she recorded a message that she's ever taking care of us. Why? This business made it easy for me. If it is based on my salary, I'm not sure it is sustainable. I live in my own house at a prime part of Lagos. Why am I saying this? Inflation has caught up with our naira. And they said insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. I made a change when I realized the income source is just one. And if that table wobble, especially with COVID, I may not be able to find my feet. And I want to maintain the standard of living that I've given my children. And that is what I've sustained. I've been a blessing to my friends, to my family. And that is why I could invite you friends here even tonight to hear my testimonial. Now we have gone digital. I still do a lot. I still pour a lot of hours into my work. However, the digital nature of this business made it so easy that if it, like Efunebi said, if you are running a business that when you are sleeping, your money is not dropping like tap, then please think again. It's an opportunity for you to rethink, unthink, and upthink. I know we talk about unlearn, relearn, and upskill. It is important. COVID has thrown us off all a challenge that made it clear that one source of income cannot carry us far. This is my story that I'm proud to talk about. Anytime, any day, I have been to utmost parts of the world on this same business, this same opportunity. The same way you are here tonight. Somebody invited me. I listened, I said I would think about it. But the day I got into our apartment in Mississauga in Canada, and I saw the ambience, the opulence of the kind of life she's living, and she's forever a giver. That is Sister Susan. The scripture is even settled concerning that. And I've seen how she transited from being a frustrated, Susan, what is that your profession? Estate surveyor, waiting on her husband for help, to someone that is now standing gidigba beside her husband. That has also been my testimony. Because there was a time my husband has a rough patch in his career. This business sustained us, carried us over that patch. Today we look back, we thank God. Our children's mode of dressing did not change during that patch. We were still able to afford our vacations, package vacations. I have a lot of family that lives abroad, my siblings. They have said that they have never seen someone that will come into the country on business class on a Thursday and depart on a Sunday night. That is the life I was used to. And inflation has not brought that down by virtue of this other source of income. And that is my story. That is my testimonial. Thank you for listening. Over to you, sisters.
Thank you so much, Shade. Thank you. We really appreciate you sharing your story. And like I said, I was actually there when you started, and I know how this business has changed you and changed your life. Or you've gotten a lot of value from it, and you saw it from the beginning as a source of income, another source of income, and it has given you that source. And I remember every time in the chat, we were always dancing when we know that how much this company pays you every month. So we really appreciate you sharing your story, and we want to say congratulations. And like I always tell you, you still have bigger things to do, and I know you can achieve it. Thank you so much. And we'll be hearing from Victoria. Victoria is here, and we'll be hearing from her too. And if she can just share her story with us. Thank you. Over to you, Victoria.
Thank you, Sister Suzanne. Thank you, Sister Folashade. This is the first time I'm hearing this amazing testimony from you, and I'm so proud of you. Well done, well done.
Thank you, sis.
Well done. Yes. So one thing that caught my attention from, that resonated with me with one of the things you said. We said something about when you are having challenges and all that financially, that, the way your children, where they dress and all that, nothing changed, that they still dress the same, you still travel the same, and actually that's the same thing I tell people every day, so that's really amazing. Okay, so my name is Victoria Erukunoako. I am a proud forever business owner. I'm also a mom of 4, to the glory of God, and I love what I'm doing. Okay, so why do I really love this business? The reason is this: as a stay-home mom, in the past years ago, I was looking for something to do. Okay, and then this opportunity came my way, and then I grabbed it immediately with my 2 hands and all that. So going forward, I started the business. Somehow along the way, I dropped out of the business. But to cut the story short, let me just say something about that I really love about the business. What I have gained so far from the business is the fact that, you see, you can stay in your house, okay, and still run the business and still make that money, okay, and all that. You can earn money globally. At times when I withdraw money from my global wallet, I was like, oh my goodness, and I don't know the people that actually, probably bought the products. Maybe somebody I brought in, know somebody in America, US, wherever, and I earn money from, whatever it is that they bought and all that. So that's the beauty of the business. You can actually, be home. I wanted to be at home for my children. My husband never wanted me to work at all, so, it was something that, used to be, as in, I used to feel it before. But, when I found this business, my husband said, yes, this is the ideal business I want you to do and all that. And I started, and, till now, I'm still involved in my children's life. I actually, from, the age 0 to, my first is 24 now, they always tell you that, mommy, we know what we're saying. Anytime we need you, you're always there for us. When we call, you're always in our school, that we know what we're saying, because sometimes, they tell me that they discuss with their friends, and that, their friends, their parents work and they don't have time for them and all that they discuss. But, when I said, really, other parents are there for their children now, they said, mommy, yours is totally different. And that's the beauty of the business, being able to, stay there for your children, seeing them, dropping them in school, when it's time, picking them up from school and all that, it's actually amazing. This evening, I was taking a walk around my estate, and I saw a lady that, one of my friends, and she's like, are you still in this estate? I have not seen you. It seems you travel a lot. I said, yes, but because of COVID, actually, we've not traveled. But the good thing about it is that I work from home. I'm always on my laptop, doing one presentation or listening to one training or the other and all that. So, and I do everything from my house. Isn't it amazing? I said, wow, so that's the beauty of the business. I am in my house, I am, so sometimes I discuss with my husband, like my husband would tell me that, Victoria, don't complain at all, because you know what? I know some executives, my husband retired as an executive director, in one of the pharmaceutical companies and all that. But the thing about it is that he said that, at my level, the kind of trainings that we were doing here, if you're working for someone, you won't have that time to do all that all you'll be chasing is money and all that. And then for the fact that, my earnings really, it's something that, I can actually say that, yes, I earn like an executive, an executive in, in the banking sector or whatever. Sometimes, my money is even far, far more than, what I earn, more than what some people get and all that. My husband says that, Victoria, you are doing this business from home. Nobody is chasing you. That's the beauty of the business and all that. And then you still have your time to do whatever it is you want to do, and all that. And you're earning this much. Just be grateful, because a lot of people are suffering out there. I don't have to commute to work. I don't have to, I am my own boss. I do whatever it is I want to do. Nobody's, talking down on me and all that. So it's really, really amazing. There's so much, you can actually benefit from doing this business. And for the fact that, you cannot move in the business without helping people. That's one beautiful thing. I love meeting people. I love traveling. I've been all over the world. Sometimes my children would tell me that, Mommy, you have covered almost all the continents of this world. You're almost covering everywhere and all that. And courtesy of this business, I don't have to pay my way, 5-star hotel, spending money, so much, fun in the business and all that. So I, invite you tonight, to take a very good look at the business. So don't, don't say you're going to think about it. Just, grab this opportunity, because one thing I also want to say is that, one day if you have a job, it's okay. We're not saying that you should not work, but one day you're going to leave that job, okay, and you have to fall back on something. And this is an amazing business opportunity you can actually fall back on. So this is the right time to start building this business and all that. So thank you so much, Sister Susan. Let me hand over to you. I hope I have not spent so much time. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. You are just right on time, and welcome everybody. Thank you for that great testimony, and thank you for sharing your experience with us. I know I can actually, with your husband, agree with your husband that the money you earn from Forever every month. I worked in the bank for a long time, for years. And I know that the executive in the bank don't earn that money. So it's a good place to be. Congratulations. And for your husband to tell you that as a woman, in short, I'm proud of you. God bless you. So welcome everyone. I hope you're having fun, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. My name is Pastor Susan Isoke Itemwago. This is the first time I'm mentioning on my name. Okay, I'm a proud mother of 4 amazing children. My first son, he will be 27 in December, and my daughter, my only daughter, she'll be 18 in few weeks. So I'm a mother of 3 boys and a girl, and I'm a wife to a wonderful man, a man who allowed me to express myself, a man who allowed me to just do what I want to do, and a man who borrowed me the money when I started this business. I didn't really have it. Yes, I was working in the bank. I'd worked in so many places, National Oil, bank, whatever. But when that time came, that I wanted to start a business, a side business, I didn't have the money. And to tell you, I had one of the biggest shops in Lekki Phase 1, but I didn't have 140,000 naira to start a side business. And I went to him and I said, please borrow me this money so that I can start. And I want to tell you today that he never regrets it. And every time, that we're going to do something, anytime we're going to do something and I say, oh, let me contribute this 5 million, let me contribute this money, he always say, wow, this is the same business he started with 140,000. And I just want to give God the glory, because it's not by my power, but by his grace and mercy. And I want to actually thank myself, for not listening to friends, for not, a lot of people have had it forever, but sometimes we really think that because we're in a particular place in our life, that we think that we are above this kind of side hustles. But I want to say that whatever it is that will make you that person you want to be, you know where you are. I knew where I was at that time. So I was ready to do anything. I was ready to sell water. I was ready to do anything. I was ready to sell sand to whoever, because I was desperate. So I don't know if you are in that position today where you look at your salary and you're living from paycheck to paycheck. I don't know whether you were, that same place I was, where I couldn't even take care of myself or take care of my mom and the eldest in my house or my siblings. I have to every day run to my husband if I want to do something. Can you imagine me borrowing 140,000 to start a business? I'm not talking about 140 million. You hearing me? I'm talking about 140,000. But I tell you, if you see me any day, anytime on the street, the bag I carry is more than 140,000. I love bags. The best bag, there's anything, but I've never bought those bags with my money. I buy it, my husband buy them for me. Not to talk, I couldn't even pay 140,000. But if you see me carrying a Gucci bag is, if you want to buy a Gucci bag or whatever bag, it will cost you $8,000 to do that. So that was where I was at that time. And somebody came showing me forever. The first thing I said, and I just want to say glory be to God, because I'm not that person that says, oh, I'm too big for that, I'm too small for that. But at that time, I wanted it desperately to change my life. I was desperate to do something about myself. I was desperate to change my financial status. I was tired of, I go into a shop to buy something, I swipe a card, and before you know it, the alert gets to my husband. Maybe they have not even given me the bag. And then my husband will call me and say, you just enter that shop, don't go into another one. I wasn't in control of myself. I wasn't in control of my finance. So that was where I was. So I don't know about you right now. I don't know where particularly you are in your life. I don't know if you look at your salary every day and before the end of the month, maybe at the middle of the month, you don't have anything in your pocket anymore. I don't know where you are. Maybe you are a tenant, or you live, you struggle to pay your bills. Whatever situation that it is with you, don't look at that situation. Don't look at what we have called you to do today, because what we have called you to do doesn't really mean anything. What matters is you able to change your life, or you able to change your situation. You're able to send your children to that nice and lovely school. You're able to live the life that you really dream of. And I tell you, everybody can do this. So 8 years in this business, I tell you, I have never regretted it. Why? I'm not only living the life of my dreams, that I can walk from anywhere I want to walk from. I'm in Canada as I'm talking to you now. I came into Canada last year when COVID struck. I came to see my children. A lot of people came with me. A lot of my friends came, but they couldn't stay. They left their children for me to take care of them. But they had to go back because there was no time freedom for them. They could not leave their job to take care of their children. If there's anything, my heart beats at my children. And I just imagine me leaving my job last year. What would have happened to my salary? What would have happened to me? But you know what? I got to Canada. I found out that COVID here, and COVID was really strong here. And I told myself, I'm not going to leave my children alone. And that's what we're talking about today. We are not telling you to leave your job. We're telling you to have an alternative, to have a plan B, that when that situation arises, you'll be able to look at it on the face and say, yes, I want to do what I want to do. And I stayed back. When people call me and say, Susan, when are you coming to Nigeria? You didn't tell us we were moving. I said, I never thought I was going to stay in Canada for 1.5 years. I left Nigeria with a hand luggage. But what has allowed me to stay here today? Every day I look at myself and say, if I was still working in a bank, or if I still had my business in Lekki Phase 1, I would have left my children. And that would have been one place I've never ever prayed to be, to leave my children because of a circumstance. But I stayed back, took care of my children, and I started doing my business from home. I've not left my house for 1.5 years, and I'm earning a 7-figure income. And I've been able to help a lot of people right in Nigeria or even here in Canada to find themselves health-wise or otherwise. But what we're telling you is that some of us here, we know what we're going through. But when you hear about forever, the first thing you think, oh, I'm bigger than forever. You can never be bigger than your problems. That's what we're talking. Your problems will always ride on you. Your problems will always put you down. What you should be looking for is how to solve those problems. Even if somebody say, go and sell water, you're selling that water so that you can get out of that situation. And like Shade said it, Victoria said it, the experience we get, the knowledge we get from here, you don't get it from big industries. You don't get it from, I can't remember when I was working in Savannah Bank when they called me to attend a meeting or that we didn't pay for. This is what we get. So the kind of money we earn in forever, executive in the banks don't earn it. You heard from Shade. And another thing, we're not even talking about the big money. We're talking about daily activities. There's a saying that goes that we have residual bills. Why don't you build a residual income? Yes, it will be difficult. It will be difficult for you to build a residual income, but is your problem difficult? Are you going through stress? Are you looking at your life and thinking, when am I going to get out of this? Or you are in a house that you struggle to pay bills every day and you don't know where your money is coming from. So we want to tell you this day that this business has allowed millions of people to do this business from home. Do it as a side business. You don't have to leave your job. All you have to do is join the business. You look good and feel good and help others to look good and feel good. That's the summary of what we do. And you get paid for it. You get paid for it. Can you imagine just telling somebody about a product that allows that person to get out of indigestion, or maybe the person is suffering from something, or maybe the skin is not looking good, and then you tell the person about the product and the person now feels really good. You feel nice, you feel fulfilled as a human being. But not only that, you get paid for doing that. So you're getting paid for telling somebody to live healthy. You're getting paid for touching other people's life. I don't think there's anything as amazing as this. But I want to say that yes, if I can do it, if Umebi can do it, if Victoria can do it, if Shade can do it, if Pastor Smith can do it, if people in our team, men and women, can do it, you can do it. What we want you to look at today is look at where you are today. Where you are today. Do you want to be in this position that you are today tomorrow? A lot is happening in Nigeria. Inflation has caught up with Nigeria. The whole world has changed. And now we are offering you a business that you can do from the comfort of your home, and you earn from 160 countries. You don't have to live in those countries. You don't have to pack your load and say, I'm leaving Nigeria, but you can live there. We're talking you about a business that whatever happened with your job, your lifestyle is not going to change. I know a lot of people who are not working anymore. They get to pull their children out from the schools their children were going because they couldn't meet up with the bills. That's what we're talking about here. Something come up with your salary, something come up with your business or with your job. You don't have to leave that house. You don't have to leave your lifestyle. And people begin to wonder, what's happening? He just lost his job. But the fact that your side income has taken over you and you still maintain that lifestyle. How many of you here, if you're honest to yourself, can say, oh, I'm going to leave my job today, and in the next 6 months, I will still be fine with myself? I want to tell you that is a lie. You can never be. Because your life will drastically go down because your income has gone down. So that's why we're calling this meeting today. And that's why we want to partner with you. And that's why we're telling you about this business, Forever Living. It is not beyond anybody. It is not above anybody. We look at our situation and circumstances, and that's what we look at. And that's what has made every one of us here to come to this business, learn it, succeed in it, and live an extraordinary life. There's a saying in Forever that says, forever makes the ordinary extraordinary. Are you ordinary in your salary? Are you impacting life right now? Can somebody in your office say, oh, this man has worked in this office for 10 years and he has impacted my life? I say this all the time. For the so many years I worked in a bank, the national oil, 9 franc and roughly as an estate surveyor. There is nobody in that office that will come to me today and say, Susan, you impacted my life. You touched my children's life. But for the 8 years I have done forever, a lot of people, every day people come to me. Oh, if not you, Susan, my children will not be in that school. If not you, I would not have traveled the world. If not you, I would not have been able to pay my bills. That is what we're talking about. Yes, spend that 14 years working in that job. You go, they are always going to remember you for the things you did. But no one is going to remember you for you adding value to their life. Because as you're there, you're struggling to go up. You're struggling to go to the next position. You're not carrying people along with you because you don't even, there's a lot of competition. But in this business, we struggle to lift other people up because that is what we do. And that is what God has given us. I tell everybody every day, forever is like a treasure God has given me to share. And I'm glad to share it, to help others to look good and feel good and live the best life they can ever dream of. So I just want to tell everyone, forever is here for you. The power of forever is power of love. And that is why we're sharing this opportunity with every one of you today. And remember too, we have succeeded not because we're too much. I've succeeded not because of who I am, but I've succeeded because forever is capable of giving you the knowledge. You can't be a doctor and now you want to be a lawyer. And you now say, oh, I'll just go to court. No, you have to go back to school. And that's what forever means. Forever, you have to go back to school. But the difference between you in that profession and in forever is that as you're learning, you're earning. You don't have to finish learning before you start earning. So we're here to help you. It's a business where you are for yourself, but not by yourself. Yes, we have succeeded. We are 7-figure earners to the glory of God. We earn from so many countries to the glory of God. But the reason why we're telling you today is not to impress you or anything, but to tell you that you can do exactly what we have done. And we want to say thank you for joining us. And let me tell you, if you decide to join us today, don't procrastinate. Procrastination is the thief of dream. It thieves your dream. You just steal it. Before you know it, 2021 is gone. 2022, will you look back tomorrow and say, oh, I wish I have started yesterday? Today is your tomorrow. So let's get on this boat together. And we promise you, we will hold you by the hand to make sure that you succeed. And tomorrow, somebody is going to come up here and say, oh, if not for me, if not for that woman, my children wouldn't have gone to that school. If not for that woman, I would still be a tenant today. If not for that man, I would still be depending on my salary. And I tell you, salary is what they pay you to just keep you there. It can never take, you cannot get rich by any salary. I earn a lot of salary on my way here, and I know what I'm talking about. So we want to thank you, and we appreciate you joining us. And we really want to say, if you love what you've heard, if you've seen what you've heard, we don't want to show slide because we're not here to show you slide or tell you that our company is the best, but you want to tell you that there is a better way. There is a better way, and this is the better way. Thank you. God bless you. So I hand over to Fumebi, and Fumebi can close up for us. And after Fumebi, if you have any question, you can ask. Thank you so much.
Okay, everyone, thank you for listening. And I just want to say in closing, one thing about me is that when I joined this opportunity, it wasn't an invitation like you've got today, maybe somebody inviting you to come and listen. I was interrupted. My husband and I were having lunch, and a lady named Kike, I've always known her, walked in and spoke to us for 5 minutes. So we didn't have slides, we didn't have a product demonstration, nothing. It was basically a testimony of our life, just like you've heard today. And right there and then, my husband said, this is truly amazing. This is truly amazing. And we immediately wrote a check for Kike. So if you're sitting, right, a check to do the business, not a check for Kike, check to do the business, I handed it over to Kike. So if you're sitting here and probably thinking, I need to go back and think about it, what I want to say is listen to your gut feeling, listen to your spirit on the inside. It doesn't take anything. I believe we'll talk about footsteps in the sand, which is that one person's story is an inspiration. because I looked at Kike and I had to tell myself at that point that looking like you have money doesn't necessarily mean that you have money. People's impression of you will not pay your bills. Those things were real thoughts that I told myself, and I decided to start. So I'm not trying to convince you to start. You decide if you want to start. So how do you get started? The business runs, legally and fruitfully because it's a business that has got services and has got products. So we have products, over 300 products. And what is the products in? Beauty, wellness, health, supplements, everyday essentials that we use. So we've got our deodorants, we've got our toothpaste, we've got our detergents, we've got our body soap, we've got every single thing that we use every single day. And the entire world knows the importance of supplementation right now. So every essential that you need. So the truth of the matter is that you are simply changing your brand. I remember on that day sitting down, Kike said, okay, we have a lot of products. What do you want? I said, okay, no, I don't want supplements because I didn't understand anything about supplements back then. But today I can't even do without them. See, right here in front of me, I've got my supplements. I've got my B propolis and all that. I've got my super greens. That's what I've got in there. And also my Agi. I didn't know the value of supplements then, but I could still join the business. And all I asked was, oh, give me skincare, give me cosmetic, give me the things I use every single day. So I had my deodorants, I had every single, so there is absolutely no risk at all. So if you're thinking, should I join? Why not get involved? Associate with the products. You have nothing to lose. After all, you brush your teeth. After all, you do skincare, and we've got the very best. We're talking about the very best because healthy is always the very best. And our products are all about being healthy. So there's no hydroquinone. There is nothing that is there that can harm your skin or anything. Everything is there to flourish you. So I say get on immediately. And then the very next thing is that you see these beautiful women, check the charts, we're over 50 women, and that's just those that are in this place. Men, women, globally, there is always somewhere to hook yourself in. You will be trained. I came in ignorant. I wasn't planning on it. I was at lunch. I said, yes. Today, I'm standing, I'm a leader, I'm teaching, I'm helping other people. I'm in contact with my sisters and saying, you can get this done. But the greatest joy is that we can look at you and you say yes to the opportunity, decide to work with us, and you too can become a testimony. So like I've said, go to the person that invited you. The person will give you a link. Let me tell you, in 2 minutes, you'll be registered because registration is totally free. At the same point also, you can order your products online immediately. You can get your products by Monday morning. You can get your products, you can get them ordered even today, and you can start. What are you doing? You're ensuring that 2021, you end it right so that you can start 2022 strong. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to end this year just as you are today, thinking that you'll kick off in 2022. A strong finish will always determine is an amazing, takeoff. So I just say this is the best time for you to get started. Come in, we love you, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And before we start, before we go, if you have any question, you can write it in the chat, and then we can answer your question. And maybe in the next 1 or 2 minutes. So if you have any question, you can just write it in the chat, and then we answer your question. In the absence of no question, so you can just go meet whoever invited you so that you can get on board, and we're ready to work with you. Thank you so much. So if you have any question, just put it in the chat there, or you go meet whoever invited you and the person is ready to answer your question.
Okay, so Sister
Hey,
Susan, you can play the music.
said, what's a reassuring trait? Okay, so, okay, no, somebody said, was a reassuring training. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you. So maybe you want to say something?
I just want to say goodbye.
So people can
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You can play the music while people are leaving.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, let me stop the live.